Hey, I'm Marc Stevens, author of Government Indicted. The website, of course, is markstevens.net. And the radio show, No State Project, live for 4 hours of Anarchy Radio every single week. 3 on Saturday from 4 to 7 Eastern Standard Time on LRN.FM. And also a live Wednesday show, which is commercial-free. So call-in number is the same for both. You can get them, of course, at markstevens.net. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's contained in this here book, Government Indicted, where I go through not only indicting the concept of government and completely debunking it and showing that there is no government, they're just men and women forcing us to pay them, but I also have a model for effectively defending yourself, which if you go to the success stories part of markstevens.net, you can see plenty, and we've got a few that we are going to be discussing today that we'll have posted here. But the model is contained in Government Indicted, basically going through the Socratic method and the process that we use to go in court to get these tickets thrown out. And first one that we have to discuss here on the today, we'll talk about Shermane's. This is in Tennessee. He got 2 very serious charges tossed out. This is in Shelby County, and you can see these are failure to appear and evading police officer. And as you can see here, look at that Photoshop job, huh? Isn't that awesome? It was dismissed. And it's a little tough to read because it's a picture from a phone. But it was the prosecution declined to prosecute. He had filed a motion to dismiss and discovery request, and this has been going on for a while. But the prosecution, instead of, well, because they have no evidence of jurisdiction, no evidence of to show that this magic code applies just because he was physically in Shelby or Tennessee, they withdrew, and that was signed, of course. This is done by the judge and the prosecution. So we've got this here one, and there's another one. So this is a failure to appear. Again, a code violation, as you can see right there. It's a code violation. And hey, for the code to be violated, it has to apply. And it's not enough to just allege an element of the crime. You have to have some damn evidence. You have to have some proof, which, of course, they didn't have, so that wound up getting withdrawn. Nolo prosequi, I think is how you pronounce that, and that is not prosecuting. Did I? Oh, okay. So now I want to move on to Elliot. This is what I had in the video that I posted from the last show. I took the time to get there you go. And this particular one is, the Photoshop job, not as good here, but this is California, yay. And we filed the demur and the discovery request, of course. And so just a little bit about the demur. If you go into the California Penal Code, pleadings and proceedings before trial, you have demur. And if an indictment that the grant, or complaint has no jurisdiction of the offense charged therein. This is the big one. This is the one that I really hang my hat on for the demur. That the facts, let's see if we can get that blown up here. That the facts stated do not constitute a public offense. And this is where they kind of lose it, because you have to have facts to constitute a public offense. Is it sufficient to just say that the code was violated without first being able to establish with what? Facts. Facts. That the code applies in the first place. So here, it doesn't give them a free pass. There's no free pass. It just says the facts stated do not constitute a public offense. So saying someone violated the law is not sufficient facts, because you are assuming the biggest part, and that is that the laws or the rules apply in the first place. So that's why and again, this is section 1004 of the California Penal Code. I should get that linked in the show notes or in the article for the video. So keep that in mind. That's what the demur, that's what we're coming out and showing. We're showing that the facts stated do not constitute a public offense because my physical presence in California is not in and of itself any kind of proof or evidence that the rules apply. Okay? See, and then, of course, if any information or complaint that the court has no jurisdiction, so that's what the basis of the demur is. That's what Elliot filed. I helped him with. There. Okay, so maybe that's a little bit too much. Here, like I mentioned before, it is Newport Beach, and case dismissed. The prosecution withdrew. So instead of meeting their burden of proof, which is supposed to be really easy. I mean, duh, everybody knows that the Constitution laws apply. Duh. Yeah, but where are the facts to prove that? Just like we're showing here. See, do the facts stated constitute a public offense? And the answer is no, because you have to assume. So the prosecution, similar to what happened with Shermaine in Tennessee, the prosecution withdrew their complaint, which was granted, and the whole thing has been tossed out. That's why the balance due is a big fat 0. So, and that's what we go through a lot in Government Indicted, how to do that. And then what we do is we're able to, people have been able to replicate the results on 3 continents. Okay, so we'll put that here. And so, yeah, here we had it in Australia, Hawaii. We had, if we go back in this, then we have a few in Wales. Actually, I had 2 tickets kicked out in Wales, which is really cool. So, big congratulations to Shermaine and Elliot there in California for taking a principled stand and not just paying the fine, filing the demur, filing the motion to dismiss, holding the prosecution's feet to the fire, demanding that they produce the evidence, the facts that would constitute a public offense. And again, people may argue they don't have to prove that. That's not what this says. And logic kind of dictates here. It's just saying you're physically in California. Does that prove that the laws apply? No, because in doing so is your classic non sequitur. If A, then B. When A and B are not related. There's no evidence, no fact. It's an assumption. They don't have to prove that. Well, that's because they have a prison system, not because they're right. Not because they're being fair, and you're supposed to be entitled to a fair trial. So, again, congratulations. I appreciate the documentary proof that has been sent there, and we'll have that up on the website at markstevens.net so that you can check out and download a copy of the document for yourself. And if you disagree, if you think that it was thrown out for other reasons, or if you believe, it's more important that I want to hear is if you believe that the prosecution could have presented such evidence. They could have presented a witness with personal firsthand knowledge to testify against Elliot that, yes, the Constitution does apply to him because he's physically in California, and I have personal knowledge of that. If you think that that's true and you have proof of that, please present it on a live broadcast. I would love to see it. Again, my name is Marc Stevens, and the website is Marc